One of the most important parts of growing a business that's focused on impact and legacy is making sure that clients stay with you long enough for you to get them a result that lasts. So the thing that we're going to talk about today is your client roadmap. Now, when we have an effective client roadmap, you are going to increase conversions, you're going to increase lifetime value, you're going to increase culture, you're going to increase so many things. Without a client roadmap, it's going to be really hard to get people to really see a future inside of your company. And that's why re-signs become really hard, because a re-sign is a re-sign instead of a graduation. Which one of those just sounds more empowering to you right there? So we can actually start to future pace clients for a longer journey inside of your company based on how we create a roadmap. Now, what's important about this is if you're going to create a client roadmap, you need to be able to be the person who can take them through each phase. If you're not evolving as a leader, if you're not continuing your education, if you're not getting coaches, if you're not getting mentors, if you're not joining masterminds, you're gonna have a really hard time growing with your people. And that's when re-signs start to get really hard. And that's when people start to get disinterested in the program. Your lifetime value of your own growth will be reflected in the lifetime value of your clients. So let's talk about a client roadmap. And the way that I'm going to teach this is I'm going to show you our client roadmap inside of my company. So the first thing that we need to know about a client roadmap is, well, how long is the roadmap? Our client roadmap is 3 years. Now, this doesn't mean that every time somebody signs up for our program, they sign a 3-year commitment. No, we have 3 different tier programs inside of this roadmap. So we have a 3-year program that just starts with a 1-year commitment. Year 1 in this roadmap is Alchemist Academy. Now, what does the roadmap of Alchemist Academy look like specifically? In another one of my videos, I talked about how our clients have one curriculum that they get access to for a full 90 days before they get to go to the next one. So that way I know they completely understand and have integrated all of the teachings here, and I don't allow them to rush through the modules. So what this looks like for Alchemist Academy is we actually have 4 different phases. Phase 1, phase 2, phase 3, phase 4. Now, each of these are 90 days. And they see this when they sign up in the program and get on onboarding. So they have already future paced themselves to understand. In phase 1, this is everything I'm going to learn. Then in phase 2, I learn this. Then in phase 3, I learn this. Then in phase 4, I learn this. Now, what we've also done is we've created the milestone accolades that they need to have on these phases for them to tangibly know and see if they're making progress at the proper rate, at a slow rate, or a faster rate. So our promise to Alchemist Academy is to get people to that 10 to 20K a month range in their business within a year. That's what the curriculum is. That's what's it intended to do. Now, I can't work for my students. I can't make them watch the modules and implement. But what we can do is we can give them every tool necessary for them to choose their own success. The reason I say 10 to 20K a month, I know a lot of you are like, that's a pretty big range. $10,000 is a big range. Exactly. Because we have underperformers and we have overperformers inside of any program. So I want to give the overperformers something to challenge them to push towards. And I also want to get the underperformers, and I say that term loosely just as a concept to visualize. We want to give the underperformers something, a metric-wise, so that they still feel like they're on track. So now what we do is all the milestones inside of the program are based on the lowest possible outcome. So for Alchemist Academy, our milestones are based on 10K months. If they're on track, they're making $2,500 a month consistently. By the end of phase 2, it's $5,000. By the end of phase 3, it's $7,500. And by the end of phase 4, it's $10,000. And in phase 1, and here's the thing, most of our students already in Alchemist Academy are making anywhere from $4,000 to $7,000 a month already. They're 2.5 months in. How do you think they feel about their progress? They feel fucking pumped because they're looking at the milestones and saying, holy crap, I'm supposed to be at $2,500 a month, but I'm already at $4,000. Man, I'm crushing it. I'm going above and beyond. So now when we take that positive momentum from phase 1, they've future paced themselves. They already feel like they're winning the game. I don't know about you guys, but when I feel like I'm winning, I want to win more. So now this momentum crosses over. Now imagine somebody starting phase 2 at $4,000 a month, and the goal at the end of 90 days is $5,000 a month. They're like, I'm gonna blow this out of the water. Yes, you are, because you're an amazing student. Most of them are. Now let's say people are making $4,000, but then there's also people making $2,500. Usually People are going to compare themselves. They're going to say, I'm a piece of shit. They're making $4,000. I'm only making $2,500. Now, if I can redirect the $2,500 people and say, you're right on track. You're doing exactly what's intended of you. You're crushing it. This is amazing. Think about where you're going to be at the end of phase 4. You're doing perfect. I need you to stay right here in this pocket. You're going to have $10,000 months by the end of the year. I can future pace them back on their own track so they're not getting distracted by what other people are doing. If we don't have a client roadmap, it's really easy for everybody to compare themselves and feel like they're not where they're supposed to be. So this really keeps them on board. Now again, imagine right around this point is when people try to cancel. Halfway through, I don't feel like it's working. I'm not cut out for this. It's not what I want. Go, okay, well, let's look at this. Let's look at all of this that you've done. What are you at? Okay, you're making $5,000 a month? Well, you're technically on track. So it is working. Well, I want to be doing more. Okay, well, let me see everything that you've been doing metric-wise that we've laid out for you. Okay, you're only doing 40% of the stuff. You haven't even watched all the modules. Why are you not doing the work necessary to produce the result that you're saying you want to leave for not getting? Now I have to make them take ownership because truly, you guys, when you create a client roadmap and you have all the bells and whistles knocked out, there should be a level of added peace to you where you know that if people come in and just follow the plan, they're going to get the results. You know, and I always use fitness as an example of this because fitness is something everybody understands. It's like people saying, I don't want to work out and eat healthy and do cardio because what if I don't get in shape? You're gonna. Well, how can you promise that? Well, because a lot of coaches don't want to make promises because they're not comfortable or they're not confident that they can uphold them. I'll make a promise. There is not a single person on the planet that could come into this program, do every single thing that is asked of them, implement it when asked of them, take the reviews, ask the questions, get on the calls. Not a single person who can come into the roadmap and not hit the baseline metrics. I believe that to be true. It's yet to be disproven. It's yet to be disproven. When you can feel that way about your program. So again, let's say you're a relationship coach. Let's say you're a mindset coach. Let's say you're a fitness coach. Let's say you're any coach that has some sort of transformation with people. How do you break down their roadmap to figure stuff out? Now, the question I get a lot is, well, what if people are at different levels of their journey? What if somebody joins Alchemist Academy and they're already making $5,000 a month? Cool. They're still going to start here and their goal is to add $2,500 a month by the end of phase 1. You see what I mean? So cool, you're making $5,000, now we future pace them. Cool, by the end of phase 1, you should be making $7,500. By the end of phase 2, you should be making $10,000, then $12,500, so $15,000. By the end of this program, if you're at $5,000, you should be, if you hit all baseline metrics, you should be making about $15,000 a month. That's our future pace for you, that's your roadmap. Hope you guys are with me. Roadmaps are not Bible. It's like a map, right? I can go off trail, I can take a different route, but if I look at the map, I can see what the clear path is and I know where I'm going. Gives me more empowerment to know that I'm making the right choices. And then I have autonomy to say, yeah, this path might take a little, like an extra 20 minutes, but there's a restaurant over here that I really want to eat at. And then I get back on track and then I can move forward. See, simple. People hit $10,000 a month. People lose their first 30 pounds. People get into a relationship and they have a partner. Now what? Maybe if you're a relationship coach and somebody has the partner, they've locked them in, now you get them ready for the next phase, which is marriage. That's the part 2. Maybe you do the single person coaching, and then when they're in a couple, you graduate them into the couples coaching, and then once they're done for there, you graduate them into marriage coaching, because everybody knows from dating to marriage, whole different dynamic. Maybe this whole first year is just a pure fat loss or weight loss thing. Maybe you market yourself as this weight loss coach. That's it, okay? This is the only tier program that we currently promote. Now I have the Mastermind and I have Conscious Leader, which I'm not done with this one yet, so I don't promote it anyways. But Mastermind, cool, I'm gonna get you to those $50,000 months. Conscious Leader, cool, I'm gonna get you to those $1 million months. If I only promote this one, all the other ones will follow. That doesn't mean that I can't take people into these. If they want to work with me and they're in that income bracket that qualifies them for that, cool. If you're making over 10 to 20K months consistently, you could get into my tier 2. You could skip year 1. How do we evolve that? Now, if you're just a weight loss coach, you're just going to promote your weight loss program. Because if after a year, the person loses 50 pounds, well, now it just makes sense for them in that moment to graduate to your recomp program, which is now you've lost the weight. Now our goal for this next year is to really get you toned. Everybody loves that buzzword in the fitness industry, toned. Cool. Now, once they're graduated with that, what's the final year? And maybe it's just 2 years for you. I'm just doing 3 years because that's what ours is. So then what's the last one? So for us, right, we go back and we do this all over again. This is our Mastermind. And the mastermind, the goal is 30 to 50K. That's where we get people. Let's do the same metrics. You've got 20K months. Let's say your goal is 25,000 in your business. Then it's 30,000. Then it's 35. Then it's 40. That's the baseline metric. We want to get you there. At this point in Mastermind, now we're talking about hiring staff, we're talking about growing your team. The growth trajectory can be a little bit faster because this baseline is here. And I'm gonna tell you what, anybody who gets through this first program, this is your first program where you should be setting the foundation for your clients. And for me, I'm like, if somebody goes all the way through Alchemist Academy, they do all the work, and they've built a consistent $10,000 to $20,000 a month this way, the way that I'm teaching them, the way that I want them to be in terms of spiritually conscious business practices and integrity and service and bigger vision, I know without a shadow of a fucking doubt, I can get that person to 50K months in year 2. Because the foundation is there. Now we can sprint. We don't need to walk, lightly jog anymore. We can sprint in year 2. And then finally, year 3, that's where we get to that $1 million business. And that's the graduation point. They check off year 1. Now we have the graduation conversation with them. But they're future paced on this. When they sign up on the call right here, this is their sales call. You tell them, this is this, this is this, this is this. Then you reinforce it on the onboarding call. This is year 1. Then you have the opportunity to graduate into year 2. Then you have the opportunity for year 3. And by the end of this roadmap that we have laid out for you, you should have a $1 million a year spiritually conscious business that you can uphold and maintain and be at peace. I don't know about you guys, but that sounds pretty freaking awesome to me. So now instead of it being a re-sign conversation, it is now a positive push forward that they're graduating into the next program. Now, here's the easiest thing. If I make good on my promise of helping somebody achieve whatever the goal was, do you think it's going to be easier for me to sign them into the next program if the next goals promised are bigger and better? I'll wait. Of course it is. Now, again, I know that I'm able to do this for people. There isn't a question in my mind. I also can't control how people show up. I have the roadmap. If you drive the car and you make sure you don't run out of gas and you do what's necessary to properly fuel and you get rest and you stay the course, you will get to your destination. But I can't control everything else that you do in the meantime. I can provide the tools, I can provide the support, I can provide the map, everything else is on them. That's what we build. That's what we do. Figure out what your roadmap for your client looks like. Now, again, don't just take 3 years because I said 3 years. 3 years makes sense for me from what my end goal is that I want people to get to. My goal is to create a lot of spiritually conscious businesses for the movement that we're trying to create here. That's where I believe business should go. That's where I believe we are headed. What's yours? Your roadmap might just be a year. There's nothing wrong with that. There's nothing better for lead gen than happy clients graduating your program. They will tell people. Don't get too caught up in how do I make this longer? I think more so get caught up in what's the real end goal transformation that I want to sell somebody, and how long does it really take for me to get them that transformation so they can maintain it after they're done with me? That is an important part. How long is it going to take for what I teach you to stick with you so once you leave, you never need me again? If we can answer that question, you have set yourself up to have a business that is stacked with integrity and will scale indefinitely. If you guys like this video, just do me a quick favor, give it a like, comment some meaningful comment down below. Let me know what your biggest takeaway was. And if you guys want to hop on a call and talk about our client roadmap, click the link down below and we'll be happy to talk to you. See you guys in the next one.